First one I'm going to go over is the payroll tax deferral. So essentially what it is that it's Trump signed this in, and basically it's allowing employees to defer payroll taxes, which is 6.2% of your paycheck that goes to Social Security from September 1st to December 31st for those making less than $4,000 per 2 weeks. So you may be affected, you may not. But essentially, and Trump's economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, says that they're pushing to forgive this deferral in the future. And so that's the big kerfuffle that's going on right now, is whether or not this is even something that they can do. And the reason is that there's no guarantee that this forgiveness will pass in Congress. The 6.2% employer contribution portion of the payroll tax, which is what's on the table for the chopping block, that's used to pay for Social Security. So when you look at your paycheck, like if you have, a normal W-2 job, on your pay stub, you'll see something taken out for SSDI, which is Social Security and Disability Insurance, and 6.2% will come from you as the employee. That's your employee contribution to Social Security. And then 6.2% will come from your employer, and that's your employer contribution to Social Security. So the issue is that Social Security is not part of the discretionary budget. It's part of the, it's part of the guaranteed budget, essentially. So of the U.S. government. And the issue is that without congressional approval, they can't just not pay that. It's going to have to be paid at some point. And it's very unlikely with a democratically controlled House that it's going to go through the Senate and, the House to be actually passed. So this seems a little bit of just playing politics to me, but we'll see. But as far as how it affects normal people, employers are able to choose whether they want to participate or not. And, if they do participate, then what's been talked about is that they may, allow higher pay checks for, the employee this year through the end of December. But if they did, they are assuming that they would have to make up the difference at some point. And the problem is that they might do this by, if they give you 6.2% more from September through the end of December, then the first 6 months of 2021, you might be getting 6.2% less to make up for that. And then this doesn't even deal with the issue of, okay, well, what if you work, you don't work there next year? How are they going to then get those back taxes essentially from you because it's paid through the employer? So this is a really big issue that is not going to be easy to fix, that we need to keep in. It seems like just political pandering, in my personal opinion. And I will talk about another one, so stick around for that if this upsets you. I'm sorry, but essentially it's doubtful that the White House and Congress will be able to come together on this, in my personal opinion. And I think it's been proven based on how much of a how ridiculous it's been with Congress just trying to agree on stimulus checks and bailouts over the last several months. And the big issue you have is that, forgiving this deferral, and this is my personal opinion, forgiving this deferral seems to be a roundabout way to start, normalizing, making cuts to Social Security. And that's something that we definitely need to be very wary of. And the reaction from businesses is that a lot of them, aren't going to participate because of there not being a guarantee for what's going to happen in the future. Federal employees, though, will have this deferral automatically taken out. So that's going to be interesting to see how that's going. If you're someone who works as a federal employee, definitely, reach out if you want to talk about this. I would love to have you on and get better insight into what, how this is affecting you. But, and then public sector unions, have been heavily opposed to this, and they want an option to opt out, given the clouded future around this. And, same, if, you have access to someone who works in one of those, I would love to talk to them. But, it's something we need to really keep in mind because, it's being forced upon these people that actually work government jobs. And so from this, the lesson that I see is, like I said, it seems to be a Trojan horse for cutting Social Security funding, and normalizing that in the future. which is definitely something to consider very, very strongly, like whether or not we're okay with that, because 90% of people over 65, and I'll have, again, links in the description, 90% of people over 65 use Social Security. And on average, it makes up an average of around 75% of their income, like something like 60 to 84% of their income. And that's according to like Social Security, like .gov. This is something really important to keep in mind because we definitely want to make sure that we're taking care of the people that are in the most need first, at least in my view. And also, most aren't going to utilize this anyway. So again, I think it's mostly just playing politics. At least that's what it seems like to me so far. But yeah, so that's the end of that topic. If you enjoyed this clip, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out the full live version of the Wealth for 99 podcast, where we talk finance, economics, and public policy from a working class perspective. We'll see you there.